My mate Craig's given me this guitar to look at, this Washburn, and apparently this jack socket's noisy. It's flipped the amp on. Yeah, that's a bad ground, isn't it? So pushing it that way, this way, resolves it. Maybe pushing it up. We can see here there's some looseness to this, so I'm going to assume that's maybe taken a couple of knocks or just cables pulled out at funny angles, just wear and tear. Have a look inside. So I'm going to have a look in the cavity. There we go. Okay, so there's the jack socket there. You've got grounding here. Got the cable coming in from here, so I'm assuming there's a ground going through there as well. So that jack socket's actually quite a long way away. So what we're going to have to do is take the socket off as well. So is it just that these lugs are kind of grounding together? I think you've got both, yeah, it's almost like a pickup cable. You've got both wires inside here. So you've got the ground and the sleeve inside here. So one of these is going to be the ground, probably the unshielded one. Yep. And then you've got the tip, which I predict will be there. And then sleeve to ground. Possibly we're going to wind up replacing this. Okay, so you can probably hear the buzz from this tiny Marshall. If I ground it, it's working fine. So what we know is that bypassing this, or possibly this cable, works because I'm jacking in on the white cable at the same point. So the grey cable comes in here. I think it might be that pot, you know. Very, very tricky to test. Simply because of physics. So what I've done is I've connected up some jump leads to the guitar, and in the pickup cavity I've selected some in, and that is on the selector switch. And by tapping the pickup with some metal, I know that's the rear pickup. If I switch the clip here, I'm going to get the front pickup, the neck pickup. The other two aren't making any noise. So what that tells me is the pickups are good, at least the two of the three I've checked. So those are presumably the inputs to the switch. I now need to figure out like what is the output to the guitar. Well, it's going to be from the volume control. So the signal doesn't appear to be getting to the volume control out of here. So that is the problem. I have a number of problems with this guitar. Firstly, the volume control. Anything less than 100% is off, and even at 100%, it's temperamental. So if you sort of give it a hit, it'll go in. Secondly, the hot pin, or the tip of the jack socket is not passing anything. The sleeve appears to be fine, so the ground appears to be okay, but this clip here isn't making a good connection, which is the other problem. Thirdly, that's scratchy, the tone control. Fourthly, in some positions of the pickup selector we don't have any level at all. I've done a tap test on it, and I can get tap here, here and here, but I can't get anything at all off the centre. So I think oh, hang on, I've got some in there. So it's just that centre position and position 4 aren't working for whatever reason. It might just be that the switch is only wired for 1, 2 and 3 and not those positions. So anyway, the resolution is going to be replace that potentiometer, I think replace that one and probably the cap as well, it's quite old, and replace this jack socket, or at least give it all a good clean. Hit my mic stand there. And this switch is just to clean and debug that, and then that should... I've had a good look in this jack socket and it's pretty corroded in there, so I think replacing that's a good start. If I get my multimeter in shot and look at the resistance, so it's low, but as it moves around it changes, it like jumps about, and that's why you're getting that crackling. And if I sort of pin it quite fearsomely, it comes down a bit, but if I go straight on the metal, it's almost nothing. So the problem there, you may not be able to see this very well, but this is very corroded here. It's right in there where the metal makes contact. So you get much more resistance in certain places there. So, I mean, basically the zinc stripped off, if it's zinc. And this is very powdery inside. I can, by the naked eye, I can see a lot of corrosion in there. So I think replacing this is a good shout as well. I think that will give a stronger connection, resolve a lot of the problems. I'm pulling these pots out now, and I'm certain I'll have something in my parts bin. I've got lots of pots for guitars. There's the tone. Trying my best not to mark the instrument. I think, if I'm honest, it's seen worse than anything I'm going to do today. There we go. I use plastic to pry these up, so I use like plastic spudgers to pry stuff up. Now we can find out what these pots are. So we've got these washers on the inside. So what tone cap have we got? It doesn't actually, oh it does say 2A473J A250K. All right, it's not super rare. I'm sure I've got something like that. And this one's covered in solder, so I don't know. I'm thinking B250. B250, I think. So it's a Bourne's one and an A one. I've been through my parts bins and I've found some suitable parts. So that's a B250, that's perfect for the volume. That's a pretty standard jack socket. I can pop that in as a replacement here, and that should work nicely. I've used these on lots of effects pedals. These are special ones that lay flat, but so I might find one that's not quite so luxury item. A1M, I mean, that'll do as a tone pop, but it's a bit overkill. I haven't got an A250 to hand. I'll have another dig round, but I'll just see if I can clean this one before I get too carried away with that. Quick chest test. Yep, it's working. So the new jack socket is all good. So I've improved the curvature of this. I've filled that damaged socket. It's working nicely now. So now it just remains for me to replace this power socket, volume control. Alright, that's all in. Let's check the connectivity. Let's check some grounds. Okie dokie. Let's check that that makes it to ground. Check that this makes it over here. Which one is it? Yep. And that one should go to tip. Perfect. Alright, this is looking pretty good. My air purifier is going nuts because of all the soldering, but it's a working volume jack. I mean, that's still scratchy, but it's working, so I'm going to leave it. 3 of those positions work. I'll give it some contact cleaner, but I'll wipe that up in a sec. I will give this guitar a proper clean and polish as well. I might do the frets as well, we'll see. Yeah, that switch is duff as well, look. I think really it's just this switch that's dead now. Oh, getting signal in every position now. So it's going to be these contacts here, these little button guys. It's probably way too much contact cleaner, but so I can probably strip it down and work on it. Yeah, everything's working. Brand new volume pot. Ideally you would replace this switch, but I've cleaned it enough that it does work. It gets a bit scratchy and it wasn't working at all in 2 of the 5 positions, but it's working now. Tone control is working. It's still a little scratchy. I've cleaned it a bit. I haven't got an A250 pot. I could replace it with an A1M, but I think it's all right for learning on. I think it's fine. Jack socket replaced, and I've doweled it so it's not wobbly anymore. So that's pretty solid. It's got a brand new jack socket in there from Fuzz Dog. And yeah, it's solid.
I've got a website. Remember those? gavd.co.uk.